Hello YouTube, and welcome to Oceanfront Santa Monica. Today I have for you the top 5 things I hate about my Triumph Bonneville. Let's kick things off. Number 5. I'm partially doing this off the top of my head because I forget everything that I went over before I left my house. So number 5 thing, we'll go with vibrations. I rode my bike from Santa Monica out to Fontana a few weeks ago for M Gymkhana. Ran M Gymkhana on the Bonneville, which was pretty interesting. By the time I got there, my hands were numb, and I agree that is probably due in part to the bar end mirrors I have and not having the stock bar end weights on here. But even before I changed the mirrors, there was still a bit of vibration happening in the handlebars. So number 5, ooh, check out this Ferrari. Number 4. Fourth thing I don't like about my Triumph Bonneville is the fuel consumption. I average almost exact every time I go to the pump. I pump, measure distance, you know, calculate, use Fuelie so I can link my Fuelie below. I get 32.5 miles per gallon like a clock every single time. Actually, the most recent tank was my best mileage, and I eked out a 35.2, which is still, you know, it's on par with like your average kind of like eco car today, and it's obviously a lot more fun than driving a Honda Fit around. But for like the amount of power and getting 35 miles a gallon, like I'm pretty sure you could get that on like a CBR 600 and have like a lot more fun on something a lot sportier. And granted, like cams, exhaust, everything, I'm pretty sure this bike has a tune, but you know, a lot of it could be due to the tune. I looked around on Fuelie at other Bonnevilles, and they're not spectacular or that much higher. So you know, I think it's more the bike. Number 3 thing I don't like, I've not yet owned a bike with a tack, and I really would appreciate a tack. I don't even know what this bike can rev to, and like you just never really push it towards the top because I'm like, oh, I don't know where this thing needs to stop. It would be nice to have. This is the base model, which doesn't have one. I think pretty much every other model as you go up gets one, but I don't know if you can. I think only, what is it, the SE trim gets mag wheels and a tack. Everything else gets those wire wheels, which are heavy and don't handle as well. So number 3, I wish it had a tack. Oh. Number 2 thing I hate about the Bonneville is, have to think about this one. I might have to go ahead and give a really cheap answer as the horn. I know you probably hate every horn on every motorcycle you've ever heard. Here it is. It's very cartoon-like, and it's like it's not going to cause anyone to stop if you actually need to use it. So number 2 is going to be the horn. And finally, the number 1 thing I hate about the Triumph Bonneville is the weight. Filled to the brim with gas, this guy I think wet weight is 509 pounds. That is a lot of weight, and granted, it hides it pretty well. If you watch the things I like about my Bonneville video, I talk about it does handle really well, and that is kind of like in general, but definitely for a bike that weighs 500 pounds, It hides that weight well at speed. When you're tinkering around a parking lot or parking, when I back into my spot at work, I have actually dropped this bike twice immediately after filling up and going to work, just because the gas makes it a little bit more top heavy, and just that full 500 pounds, if you're not fully sharp, if you hadn't had your coffee in the morning, you just like always have to brace yourself and just always be ready to deal with that amount of weight, because at low speeds, like 500-pound bike is a 500-pound bike. And you know, I made that mistake a few times of letting my guard down and just not being prepared to support that 500 pounds. But all in all, those are the 5 things I hate about this bike. But at the same time, this is a really good bike. It's been ultra reliable. It's been just oil changes, and that's it. It's got 4,000 miles on it. I've put like 2,200 of those miles on it myself, so it's a reasonable amount of seat time. I know it's not like a 10,000 mile review, but I just remembered. Number 2, we could keep the horn in there, but I will add a bonus item because I just remembered. I hate that it has a 5-speed transmission. Like, just throw an overdrive in there. I know it's meant to be a cruiser, but man, a 6th gear on the highway, I constantly... Oh, that was a brand new Raptor. On the highway, I'm in 5th gear, and I'm like, I obviously don't know how high it's revving because I don't have a tach, but I'm revving kind of high in 5th gear, and the only reason this bike doesn't have a 6th gear is just because like retro bikes didn't have 6th gears. They only had 5 gears, which is like, this is a modern retro, so make it modern by adding a 6th gear. Come on, it's not that difficult. Although I don't remember if the new Street Twin actually has a 6th gear. I researched that bike a lot before I bought this one and just wasn't ready to spend that much. If you have any other questions about the Bonneville and my experience in owning one, definitely leave a comment below. I'm happy to respond and let you guys know my experience. Remember to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.